The opinions expressed are those of the show's host and not the staff or management of Port St. Lucie Broadcasters. Any reproduction without written consent of WSTU and WPSL is strictly prohibited. Now it's time for Quality of Life Radio, brought to you by Cigna and Aetna Medicare. Here are your hosts, Gary Owen and Tom Bouvier.
Hello, good morning, everybody, and to all you that's right, beautiful people. You're beautiful out there, and thank you, especially for those of you that are tuning in. You're even more beautiful. Thanks for tuning in on this extraordinary Tuesday morning. November 1st already. My God, Christmas is coming.
Thanksgiving is
coming. The goose is getting fat. So am I.
And Halloween is behind us.
Halloween is behind. Not yet.
All that sugar.
It's coming. And but yeah, that's right. It is behind us. It was fun.
Yeah.
But what did you dress up as, Tom?
I dressed up as a crawfish.
Like I said, Gary Owen.
Yeah.
All right, you're listening to the Quality of
Crawfish
Life radio show this morning. That's what you're tuning into. And I'm your extraordinary host, Gary Owen, president of Owen Insurance Group.
And I'm your co-host, Tom Bouvier.
So thank you for tuning in. You're probably streaming live on Facebook, so we appreciate that. Those of you that are tuning in. Or if you're driving on Reckless US 1 or Crazy US 1, stay safe on WSTU 1450 and WPSL 1590. You're catching us on both stations. Thank you for tuning in. And for those of you that are watching in the 47 countries that are tuning in, we say thank you very much, and we hope that you enjoy the Boov and his extraordinary wit and wisdom. Tom, we're here every single Tuesday morning
to espouse our wit and wisdom. Actually, Gary, we do come here every Tuesday morning to bring relevant content to our listeners. And, of course, we have lots of fun, but we also bring information that can help people in their daily life. The second reason is we love to support and showcase local business owners, nonprofit organizations, entrepreneurs. And we have an awesome, wonderful guest who you and I both know and love, who we'll be introducing here in a moment. And lastly, Gary, because of our passion for education and knowledge about Medicare insurance, we love to bring that wit not only and wisdom regarding insurance planning and options to help improve people's quality of life.
And we are absolutely passionate about protecting, preserving your quality of life and health, and hence why you're probably tuning in this morning to get valuable information. The second part of our show, we're going to share 10 fun facts about Medicare. So yes, we are in the middle of Medicare annual enrollment period from October 15 through December 7th. So today being November 1st, if you haven't had a Medicare review, you need to be giving us a call at 772-210-1020 to get a complimentary review of your Medicare Advantage plan or your prescription drug plan. So be sure to give us a call. So we're going to talk about Medicare fun facts. Like one of them, which is pretty cool, is we'll have to ask our guest, see if he might know, but who was the first recipient of the Medicare card? Who was the very first recipient? So we're going to be, he's going to be juggling his brains together, trying to figure out who that is. And then
he'll be Googling it.
The third part of our show, Tom and I are going to share some valuable information for you about Medicare, about individual health insurance. So stay tuned for that. But without any further ado, I'm very happy and honored to introduce this week's guest. So he is certainly dressed better than us. He smells better than us. He looks better than us. He shaved closer than us. I'm very happy to introduce to you Brandon Woodward of WKFK, kind of like WIRK, but WKFK is Woodward, Kelly, Fulton, and Kaplan Law Firm in beautiful Stuart, Florida. Good morning, Sir Brandon.
Thank you, Gary.
Was that like extraordinary?
That was a lot.
Should we back it up in the tape and do it again?
You got quite a lot in one sentence there. Good job.
The adjectives are flowing.
It worked.
They were.
Well, Brandon, thank you for joining us this beautiful November morning. And why don't you tell our listening audience a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Brandon Woodward. I am the managing partner of Woodward, Kelly, Fulton, and Kaplan, and we're a business law firm. Our offices are in Stuart, Florida. We have our other office in West Palm Beach. I myself live in God's country of Hobe Sound, Florida, and me and my wife, my 3 sons all live there. They're all in the Martin County schools, and really been down here 13, 14 years now, and the practice has been open under my name for the last 10. So it's grown well, and I just love this community and being where we are.
What was it? You were sitting, as a adolescent in bed and thought one day you're going to be an attorney?
Yeah, it kind of comes like that. It's no, you go through college with. I actually started as a chemistry major until my chemistry professor pulled me aside and said, "You're not meant for this. Find something else to do."
Here's your sign.
That was as close as it was going to get, and I listened. For once in my life, I listened to someone tell me what to do, and I said, okay, well, what else am I good at? And it turns out talking and writing and persuading were kind of some skill sets that I already had, and so I switched my major from chemistry to, I believe it was political science, graduated a very nice college called Rockhurst University in Kansas City, Missouri, my hometown. Go Chiefs. And went off to law school right after that and became an attorney. There's no flash of light moment. It's just a kind of a generalized wanting to help people with their problems. And where I ended up landing is on the corporate side of things, the business and corporate, it's often called mergers and acquisitions. And it's different from the injury, accident, criminal, or family attorneys, although I'm friends with a great number of them. Being the transaction guy, being the deal maker is really where I found my niche and where I've really settled into a groove.
So you don't have to go to court very often.
This is correct.
It's beautiful.
If I'm in court, something has gone horribly, horribly wrong.
And that never happens with the Woodward law firms. So that we're happy about that. And by the way, I also am happy to say that Brandon is my personal attorney for my business law. So I'm happy to have him and obviously rely on his counsel and expertise, and I appreciate that. And it, not enough, doesn't happen enough, but every once in a while we'll have a bourbon together and talk about the joys of life. In politics sometimes even.
Once in a while.
Once in a while. All right, so we know that you have 3 other partners.
Yes.
So do they all do different types of law or what?
Actually, I have 4 partners, and they are Craig Kelly, Andrew Fulton, Dana Kaplan, and Craig Eller. Craig Eller joined us this February. Mr. Fulton and Mr. Eller are litigators. They are the ones that we call when things have gone kind of south, and they're good to have. Craig Kelly is basically the head of our bankruptcy practice, and Dana assists him. I handle basically the business side of things, contracts, deals, and what I particularly enjoy is the buying and selling of businesses. But they all do different things, and I'd walk across glass for all of them, and we are all very, very different personality types, which I think really helps the fit and the flow of the firm.
You've got a great firm, my friend. I'm telling you right now, and if people, small business owners, should probably be talking to a small business or business law attorney. I mean, look at all the things, look at what I'm going through and all the things that are happening that you cannot do it all by yourself. And if you think you can, that's when problems arise. And then when you've got yourself in a bunch of doo-doo, then you got to pick up the phone and call Brandon and try to get things fixed
So
out.
a smile and a handshake among businessmen about big deals is not good enough, Brandon?
If smiles and handshakes counted, I wouldn't have a job, Tom.
Smiles, handshakes, and milkshakes.
None of that matters. It is 2022 after all, and I'm often said, if you're being asked to sign something and it looks kind of legal, it was probably written by an attorney, and that attorney didn't have you in mind when he wrote it. He had the other guy in mind, and you're being asked to sign it. So for whatever it costs, the value of the services we provide, having an attorney read your important documents, and sometimes these are once in a career, once in a lifetime kind of contracts, deals, or documents. Why is that the time to say, I got this, or I'm gonna handle this myself, or I've read this before. It's interesting. A good friend of mine is Gary Lesser, the president of the Florida Bar now,
yeah.
and I heard him speak at the Martin County Bar Association just a couple of days, and he had some great statistics when it comes to DIY lawyering, and it's prevalent. It's a bit of a Florida thing. Why business owners, particularly when they're good at so many things, take that next step to be, well, I can handle that too. That's where they do run themselves up on the rocks. But the Florida Bar itself did a statewide survey of everybody that they could get to respond, and it was all users and consumers of legal services. And they found that an astounding 91% of the respondents believed that retaining an attorney would help protect their rights or interests. 91% feel getting an attorney was going to benefit them in some way, yet they don't. And then the flip side of that 91%, 84% believe that retaining or hiring an attorney results in a better or more equitable outcome. If the belief is there that having an attorney on your side matters, I'm here to back that up. It absolutely does. When I'm asked to enter a transaction,
That's right.
just a basic, we're buying a house, a piece of equipment, something large or expensive, or we're hiring a key employee, and there's not an attorney on the other side, we play fair. That's my job, but I'm also not thinking real hard about the other side. I'm trying there to protect my client, and that in a very non-aggressive, in a very non-adversarial or confrontational way, is the way a transactional practice works. We're there to get a deal done and make sure everybody comes out smiling on the other side.
Yep. That's awesome. And to the point about DIY, I just saw a commercial last night about wills and trusts. Do it yourself. So that's the one thing you want to get right.
It is.
And to try to figure it out on your own without an attorney, I don't recommend it. And if you're going into business and you're a small business owner and you're looking at signing a 5 or 10 year lease, don't do it until you have an attorney review it. Right, Brandon?
That's exactly right. Commercial leases are not written on behalf of the tenant. There's far too much commercial space. But I always say, if you're going into business with someone else or someone else's money, you absolutely need to get that reduced to writing, even if it's family.
Yep, 100%.
Because not only the trust issue or, bad blood or breach of a contract, but what if somebody dies? What if one of the individuals dies? I mean, that handshake and a smile, of course I was kidding, but what if that person dies? The rest of the people who may inherit that person's share, they're not going to remember what the two people said.
Yep. We're going to talk more about that when we come back from our first break of the show, because we have pressing questions for the attorney. The counselor is going to provide us great insight. So we're happy that you're tuning in and watching the world-famous Quality of Life radio show at WSTU 1450, WPSL 1590. Have your second, third cup of joe, take a quick tinkle, and I promise we're going to be right back.
Age comes with wisdom, and wisdom comes with benefits. That's especially true when it comes to Medicare. So make the wise call and go to CignaWise.com to compare your Medicare Advantage plan to Cigna today. Cigna offers dental coverage and $0 primary doctor visits in most areas, hearing, vision, and an over-the-counter allowance all in one plan. You can even earn rewards for doing healthy activities. So go to CignaWise.com and compare your Medicare Advantage plans to Cigna today. Again, that website is CignaWise.com. Cigna Medicare Advantage, because wisdom comes with benefits. Benefit options vary by plan and service area. You must reside in the plan service area. Cigna is contracted with Medicare for PDP plans, HMO, and PPO plans in select states, and with select state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in Cigna depends on contract renewal.
Hello, this is Gary Owen of the Owen Insurance Group. We are a local independent insurance agency located right here on the Treasure Coast. I've been a resident here for 34 years and have helped thousands of clients with their insurance planning needs. We specialize in life, health, and Medicare insurance planning. Don't travel the road alone. Let us be your guide. We are the Owen Insurance Group. Contact us today at 772-210-1020 or visit our website at oweninsurancegroup.net. All right, welcome back to the Quality of Life Radio Show. We have with us in the studio this, oh, by the way, in case you're just now tuning in and you don't know who in the heck I am, I'm the president of Owen Insurance Group, Gary Owen, and
Tom Bouvier.
the Boov also is in the house, and we've got a phenomenal friend, business law attorney, Brandon Woodward's with us this morning, and I can personally vouch for him. I personally use him for our business. And love his style, and especially love his jacket. And he's such a pretty boy, but he's intelligent too. He's smart and he's witty, and I love him. So Brandon, we were talking on the break about small business owners, and we know the statistics, and they're grim. The first 2 years and then 5 years, we know that by the fifth year, more than half of businesses are out of business. So, as a business law attorney, what is some of your advice, and what are some of the things that you see that causes many businesses to fail?
I would say the number one cause of failure with small businesses getting off the ground is a bit of a failure to plan for the unexpected, or the failure to contain costs in that all-important first and second year. One thing that's borne out over and over, a small business or any business can run in the red for years. A major corporation can have debt and be financed and leveraged. As long as there's somebody willing to lend money to the business is open. The business can only run out of cash once. And that's a very, very important and a very hard lesson for small business owners to understand.
You better believe it.
Because the day you can't make payroll, the day you can't pay your restaurant suppliers and vendors, your people, your staff, or your rent, that cuts the lifeblood out of your business, and then you're done. The other mistake they often make are to walk themselves into bad deals. That's where a business attorney might be useful, but also their accountant should also be on board to say, okay, this is not a great deal for you. Finally, I think the first, and it's a good problem to have, is small businesses generally sometimes fail to grow appropriately. I use the expression, you guys have closets in your house, right? Okay, and do you have any empty closets in your house?
Never.
No.
Never.
If you have space, if you have capacity, your business will always grow to fill it. So people get wound up. Should I hire that extra employee to service those extra customers? Yeah, guess what? You'll find more customers just to keep that employee busy. Do you want to take risk to do it? Sure. Are you going to borrow money, or are you going to feel a little uncomfortable? And you've owned a business. You've had a sleepless night. I certainly have.
It's called entrepreneurship.
It's called ulcers, and it's. But the point is there the same. I see those things as challenges to small or mid-sized businesses, certainly in their first and second year.
So you spoke about running in the red. Yes, a failure to plan obviously is a big thing. I'm certain of that. But I'll share with everybody here in a minute how many years it took me that I ran in the red. But on average, Brandon, how for a small business like ours with less than 5 employees, 5 to 8 employees, typically how long does that business run in red before they start turning a profit? Do you see on average? I know it's over the board.
Yeah, it's really over. I would at least have a business plan in place before you even open your doors, before you go on Sunbiz and point and click your way into opening something. And I have to fix that a lot of the time. So please stay off of Sunbiz if it's not your thing. But I think the failure to plan, or they come in with too little capital up front. Having some savings and having some bankroll of a certain X amount, depending on industry.
Better believe it.
To really soften that first year. And if you're not cash positive at year one, or when those savings are expired, that's when you need to make some hard decisions. There's no real time point or no time in the life cycle to say this is where you should be profitable. A dental practice costs lots and lots of monies to stand up. An auto dealership, even more. A pet sitting business, which was the first client I ever had, very little capital to start. They are cash positive on their first day.
Wow, yeah,
so
of course.
there's a wide variety out there, but at least you know the pet sitter or the auto dealership knows they have a sufficient war chest to get through and take care and pay the owners.
Yeah, to your point, after the first year, still running in red is scary. But with the entrepreneurial spirit, Tom and I keep talking. We have this discussion about the true life captain who burned all the ships, right? So, I made the commitment to burn the ships, not looking back. So I sold my home, used the home as equity for my business. I mean, not probably the brightest thing or the wisest thing to do, but I had that spirit, that burn in my belly to make it no matter what. No matter what, I mean, yes, the sleepless nights were there, the long days, long nights, 7 days a week, not having a personal life. But these are the risks that you take, and that's what makes the entrepreneur the entrepreneur. So anyway, in the middle of my second year, or towards the third quarter, we started finally getting cash positive. So it took us almost 2 years, but I'm telling you, man, it was tough 2 years.
And would you do it again?
So to give up, six-figure comfortable income and 401k and a pension and health insurance and working from home
And golden handcuffs?
to do it again, it's a tough call, but I would say yes, because I know the trajectory that we're on now. Mm-hmm. So it took us 5 years to get here, and you see every day. I mean, you see what's happening. You see where we were 2 years ago versus where we are now 5 years ago. So as you continue to grow, you continue to grow the credibility and the trust in the community, and so that speaks volumes about a small business.
Absolutely.
And being out there, and having a good business law attorney that keeps you out of trouble.
That's pretty helpful to just to bounce those questions off of. It's every day I get my clients asking me, what do I think about this, or should we start this endeavor, or what's the hazards of going into here, and we break it down for them. And to your point about taking risks, sometimes it's not worth it. A friend of mine is often to say that the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Right.
And you're already successful. You've done these things. You have this aspect of your business that is profitable. Is your margin over here enough to justify the risk or the cost? It may be risk-free, but do you really want to devote your time, mental energy and physical energy to that? And sometimes you have we in the business have the client we turn away, the best money we never made. Some of these ventures that are presented to you are the best. Saying no can be the best option a lot of times.
And that's why they should speak to you ahead of time before they even think about going on sunbiz.org, or like you say, stay away from it, right? And 5 years ago, Brandon, I had beautiful head of dark hair like you had, and look at 5 years later, look what had happened. So the stress.
The wisdom of
So this is a nose of wisdom.
Yeah.
The halo of wisdom.
The gray hair of
love
wisdom.
it.
Let's go with
Salt
that.
and pepper.
Go with that. I love it. What do you think is the number one thing that a person who wants to start a small business, whether they have overhead or not, like you said, a pet sitting business, what's the number one thing they should do first? Obviously, they should be talking to you.
I would say speak with their spouse, speak with their family, their significant others.
True.
Opening a business is no small endeavor.
Yes.
I've seen pick on husbands, sign commercial leases that have personal guarantees on them. Did they tell their wife? No, they did not. I wasn't part of that conversation, but I was looking at it, and that's a tough call to make. No, you need to have clear eyes opening a business. What you think you're going to accomplish, how much money you're going to put into it at the start, what do you hope to achieve? Are your goals realistic, and are they achievable?
Right.
Without those things, you're kind of going off without a great plan, and I don't like your odds of success. Clearly, an accountant can help you. Once you start thinking about employees, or just when you hire yourself, there are tax ramifications to this. Great. Get Peachtree, get QuickBooks. I ran QuickBooks by myself for many, many years when I was solo by myself before the big firm happened. And it's great. You can use it. It takes a lot of time to learn and a lot of time to actually use. But then do it. Keep your books straight. Talk to your accountant on the quarter. Talk to your business attorney or your financial advisor or both on the annual. And you're in a much better position by not doing those things. You're not out there alone. And the advice that your accountant, your attorney, and financial planner give you are worth what you're going to pay for them.
Yep. And one of the things I learned after I opened the business was this little thing called SWOT analysis, right? So I wish I would have done that prior to opening the business. I probably would have been much ahead much quicker than what I was. But your strength, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Who is your competitors? What are they doing? And so what are your weaknesses? What are the opportunities that you have available in the business that you're looking for? So had I done that, I probably would have been much better off than doing it after the fact.
And to that point, on a SWOT analysis, a lot of times just having a good business advisor, and I lump all three, the accountant, the attorney,
Right.
financial planner, or trusted advisor, even uncle that's been in business, longer than you have, talking to any of those, a lot of times the answer is, well, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to start a brand new pet sitting company. Why don't you approach the current pet sitting company with your ideas and see if you can join forces with them.
Good idea.
So you're not standing up something brand new by yourself, wearing all that risk. It's not for everybody. Turns out I'm kind of a terrible employee, so I had to, my last employer told me so, and that's why running a law firm kind of came with the territory. But yeah, you don't necessarily have to build something from scratch. And trust me, as you know, and I know, there's no blue ribbons or medals for doing it. It's out there and it's stressful. But a lot of times you can find a good, solid strategic partner to get you basically where you're going.
Yeah. Lots of battle scars, that's for sure.
And another thing is, you don't know what you don't know. And when you do hire professionals like Brandon in the business world, Gary and I in the insurance world, we bring knowledge that you would never, even if you do your own research, we bring the experience, the wisdom,
100%.
we bring scenarios that we've already gone through this 100 times. We know what the consequences are by doing this or doing that or not doing this or that, doing that. You learn so much of what you don't know. And it's well worth every dollar you spend.
100%, man.
That's a great point. A large part of my practice I led with is mergers and acquisitions, which is just a fancy way of saying buying and selling businesses. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times these are a husband and a wife, and this is the most significant asset they own. Yeah. There's a lot of equipment, there's a lot of money tied up in the business, the equipment, and the name and all that, and they now maybe have an offer to take it off their hands. That's great. This is not the time to go start winging it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime transaction for them. We, at my firm, we do a transaction of buying and selling of a business 1 or 2 per month, and we've done it for 10 to 12 years.
That's awesome.
So there's not a lot we haven't seen, and there's generally a formula and a process and a pattern that it all sort of falls into. But if you don't know that, if you're not in it, there is certainly no Google or YouTube video that's going to teach you that.
way.
It's just battle scars. You screw up a few of them, and then you learn not to do that again. And then you get it right, and then you're able to advise those clients to get them through the process, smiling and happy when the sale day comes.
Brandon, there are people probably waiting to find out how they get a hold of you.
Absolutely. Well, we have 2 offices, but I think for most folks here can find us at our Stewart office, which is in the United Way building, 10 Southeast Central Parkway. It's just across from Starstruck Theater. We have a client manager. Her name's Victoria. She's awesome. She can be reached at 772-497-6544. We're happy to talk to folks as friends and listeners of Gary Owen and the Quality of Life radio show. We help as many people as we can. we get a lot of interesting calls. When I say something like that, I think next week Victoria's going to be like, what did you say, and who are these people? But the bottom line is, don't make mistakes. We're here to be a resource for you guys, for your listeners in our community, and if we can help, even if it's not a consultation, even if it's just a couple of bits of friendly advice, I'm happy to do it.
And he's got a great view from his office, just saying. So if nothing else, just go by and say hi, introduce yourself to Brandon, and he'll show you around. He'll show you the great views from his 30-story office building in Martin County that doesn't exist. But
and you might get a nice shark shirt, unless you've all run out. But, I got a really
the shark
cool
shirt
from
Yeah,
there.
Gary's got a shark
I
shirt.
wore my shark shirt out the other day.
The shark shirt is
I
our
love that
referral
shark
partners and top clients.
I like to
So
wear it to the beach.
It's
Be the shark.
We've it came from something that came up when during COVID I was doing some legal work from home wearing a Pink Floyd concert T-shirt. It was very soft and very comfortable. And then we've always used the expression in an ocean full of fish, be the shark. So if you're a small business or even a mid or a large business, putting the attorneys on your side of the table really does sort of rebalance the power in the equation, particularly if you're dealing with someone else. So we had the shark shirts made. They've been very, very popular. It does my heart good to see one in a Publix, and I don't say anything. But they've been more and more popular, and people have started asking for them now.
Yes.
So we may have a shark shirt too at some point.
Awesome.
The shark shirt too.
I do the minis, So.
Oh yeah.
So when I lose my 30 pounds, I'll be able to wear the short one, the short version. All right, we're going to move on to phase 2 of our show. We got 2 minutes before our next break, but we're going to do the quote of the day. Tom, would you do the honors on today's quote?
Absolutely. In line with the theme of today, expand your horizons because you're going to become someone different. You might as well be in charge of who that business is going to be. And if you're going into business, make sure you call
Brandon Woodward. Yes, very good. When we come back from our break, we're going to talk about a fun health fact, this powerful, most nutritious fruit on the planet. And then we're going to talk about the 10 fun facts of Medicare. And then Tom and I will round it up with some valuable information to prepare for the Medicare and the ACA Individual Health Open Enrollment. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching the Quality of Life radio show. Hang tight. We're going to be right back in 30 seconds. Insurance Group. We are a local independent insurance agency located right here on the Treasure Coast. I've been a resident here for 34 years and have helped thousands of clients with their insurance planning needs. We specialize in life, health, and Medicare insurance planning. Don't travel the road alone. Let us be your guide. We are the Owen Insurance Group. Contact us today at 772-210-1020 or visit our website at oweninsurancegroup.net.
Age comes with wisdom, and wisdom comes with benefits. That's especially true when it comes to Medicare. So make the wise call and go to CignaWise.com to compare your Medicare Advantage plan to Cigna today. Cigna offers dental coverage and $0 primary doctor visits in most areas, hearing, vision, and an over-the-counter allowance all in one plan. You can even earn rewards for doing healthy activities. So go to CignaWise.com and compare your Medicare Advantage plans to Cigna today. Again, that website is CignaWise.com. Cigna Medicare Advantage, because wisdom comes with benefits. Benefit options vary by plan and service area. You must reside in the plan service area. Cigna is contracted with Medicare for PDP plans, HMO, and PPO plans in select states, and with select state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in Cigna depends on contract renewal.
right, welcome back to the Quality of Life radio show where we make you feel good and powerful. Speaking of powerful, there is a small, we did this one time before on our show some time back, and I wanted to bring it back in again because I think that it's something that every single one of us in the studio and outside the studio, yes, those of you that are watching and tuning in, need to think about. So, what is the most nutritionally powerful fruit on the planet? We all think about acai,
Bananas,
maybe bananas,
apples.
Iggy, what did you say? Pomegranate. So these are great, blueberries, but a great source of vitamin C, fiber, lemons contain many plant compounds, minerals, and essential oils. These yellow fruits also have many potential health benefits. Eating lemons may lower your risk of heart disease, cancer, and kidney stones. The carbohydrates in lemons are primarily composed of fibers and simple sugars, such as glucose, fructose, and sucrose. The main fiber in lemons is pectin. So soluble fibers like pectin can lower blood sugar levels by slowing down the digestion of sugar and starch. Of course, big vitamin C, potassium, vitamin B6. So these are the things that you need to consider to stay healthy. Eat a lemon a day, not an apple a day.
So that is worth the squeeze.
There you go, Tom.
Right, I kind of
Turning
play off of that.
Lemons to lemonade, right, Tom?
That's right. I squeeze lemon and lime together. Ooh, it's a delicious.
very
And
good.
a little bit of monk fruit, so there's no calories to sweeten it.
Tequila?
No tequila.
Oh, no tequila. Daggone it, man.
Sorry.
All right, so 10 fun facts about Medicare. So we are in the midst of Medicare annual enrollment period from October 15th through December 7th. So let's talk about 10 fun facts real quick. Tom, number 1.
Medicare was actually signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson on July 30th, 1965.
Brandon, how many years is that? How many years ago was that?
If I could do math, I wouldn't be a lawyer, Gary.
Well, real quick on your fingers.
So 65 years ago? 67 years ago? I got nothing.
Tom?
Yeah, 67. Well, that is July 3rd. Yeah, 67.
67? Let's go with that, yeah.
67. He is a man. He's also a college professor, too.
That's right.
Yeah,
right.
the man of
Got the
many
cap.
talents.
And by the way, it took, again, Congress, right? It takes years for anything to get done. It took 20 years for Congress to enact government health insurance for seniors that was proposed by President Harry Truman.
And thus, President Truman was the first Medicare beneficiary.
So who was the second, Counselor?
Could we say his wife, Bess Truman?
Boom!
Whoa.
Very
nice.
good. She was number 2. Who was number 3, Tom?
The son. Isn't the Trumans from your neck of the woods?
You're exactly right. That's
I-
Independence, Missouri, and I grew up in Raytown, Missouri, so right next
Look
door.
at
And
there.
I just saw the remodeled Truman Presidential Museum this summer.
That's
Oh, it's
fantastic.
beautiful. They have his cars, his office, the Oval Office is all recreated there.
That's so fantastic.
It's-
Great man from
It
a
was
great
it was a
state.
cool experience to take my kids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd love to see that for sure. On July 1st, 1966, of course, Medicare benefits began for more than 19 million individuals enrolled.
And now, as of December 31st of 2021, there's 64 million seniors on Medicare.
That's a lot of people.
It is.
A lot of people. Who's paying for all that?
Well,
Brandon?
we the people, out of our paychecks.
Part C began in January 1999. Back then, it was called Medicare Plus Choice Program. Today, it was changed back in 2003 to the Medicare Advantage Program. And today, there's talk in the legislature in Congress to change that name because it can be misleading, calling it Medicare Advantage. So that might change yet again.
Very, very interesting. Now, Medicare Part D, which covers prescription drugs, took effect on January 1st of 2006.
We love doing Part D reviews, don't we? It's the best part of our job.
No comment. Plead the fifth.
Original Medicare has over 36 million enrollees. That's 52%. And Medicare Advantage plans have 28 million. That equates to 48%.
There are over 11 million individuals who are duly eligible for both Medicare and Medicaid.
And payments to Medicare Advantage plan sponsors totaled over $250 billion back in 2019. So you can imagine it's probably $300 billion today in 2022.
Yeah.
People don't know this, but the average that a Medicare plan sponsor gets compensated from Medicare for each Medicare beneficiary is about $15,000 a year minimum for each Medicare beneficiary.
Medicare Advantage plan.
For a Medicare Advantage plan that signs up.
And
Big money in it.
It is big money.
Big
That's
money.
why you see all the advertisements. That's why if you're on Medicare, your mailbox is getting filled as we speak with all the different Medicare
Yes.
Advantage carriers vying for your attention and your enrollment. And with that, over 10,000 people a day are turning 65. The baby boomer graduating into Medicare is continuing.
Yeah, in 2030, I think or 2029, I think we'll see the last boomer turning 65, and then transitions to Gen Xers,
The Gen Xers.
and then now we start moving
Well,
in.
I'm the tail end of the baby boomers.
So what? 2029 or 2030? You'll be 29. You'll be.
Oh my goodness! Oh,
You're
now
getting
I'm on
close.
the
Here
spot
go the math
I was
again.
born in 1962.
We're keeping
so-
math out of the equation from
Yeah,
now on. All right.
That's right. Thank you.
5 things to consider during the AEP.
App. What is
Annual
app?
Well, it's the annual enrollment period. So people call it the open enrollment period, but really, that's fine. You can call it whatever your little heart desires. Annual enrollment period is the technical name from October 15th through December 7th. But the open enrollment is 2 years old, and the open enrollment period begins January 1 and ends March 31. So Tom and I will educate you here in the last 10 and a half minutes that we have on today's show. First of all, let's talk about the annual enrollment period and the 5 things that you need to know. So, Tom, why don't you do number 1?
Okay, so if you're on a Medicare Advantage or Part C or prescription drug plan in the mail, you should have received, or electronically if you so chose, paperless, you will have received an ANOC. That's the acronyms for Annual Notice of Change. But you should have received that before October 1st.
I'll say that sounds dirty.
ANOC. Where's your mind, Mr. Owen?
ANOC.
ANOC. ANOC. Annual Notice of Change. And that's going to tell you in advance of this annual enrollment period what changes are going to happen to your Medicare Advantage and prescription drug plan, such as this drug is no longer covered, this drug is going from a Tier 1 to a Tier 2, this doctor is no longer or a network. It may not be specific on the doctors, but it's going to give changes in premiums, deductibles, co-pays, co-insurance.
And, Tom, how many people actually do read the ANOC?
I think 100% of the people, because people are very serious about their health care. I mean, they call supplements Medicare Advantage supplements, and no, I'm being facetious. Very few people actually pick up their ANOC, their Annual Notice of Change documents, and read it. But it's very important to do that.
Very important to do that. Number 2 is to speak to a licensed, independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare planning to conduct a thorough Medicare review. So if you are on a Medicare supplement plan, do you need a review? No, you don't need a review. Once you have a Medicare supplement plan in place, that plan will last as long as you live, as long as you pay the premium. Pure and simple. The only reason why a person would want to review their Medicare supplement plan is maybe because the carrier they're with may have raised their rates exponentially, and they may be interested in a different Medicare supplement with a different carrier. However, the caveat to that is you do have to, in most cases, you're going to have to qualify with health underwriting. So it's not like Medicare Advantage where you could just change plans every year. It doesn't work that way. So it's why it's important that you work with an independent licensed agent that specializes in Medicare insurance planning, and they've been doing it for more than a month or two, right, Tom?
Absolutely, and that's why you should call us here at Owen Insurance Group, no cost or obligation for that review, 772-210-1020.
Or Brandon may know our number. Brand, what's the best way to reach Owen Insurance Group?
I just text you. It's just,
That is the best way.
I love his
answers. I love it.
We can't put him on the hot seat.
No, we have 772-210-1020. Very easy.
10, 10, 20. There it is.
10, 10, 20.
That's right, 210-1020.
All right,
It
number
flows.
3, Tom.
So you definitely need to review the plan's cost, copays, deductibles, MOOP, that's M-O-O-P, or
That's
maximum.
a bunch of poop.
That's another MOOP. Yeah, it's a pile of MOOP. That's the maximum out of pocket. That's different than a deductible. Many people get it confused. So definitely review that for the next year.
Sure.
And of course, you may want to change to another plan, and we will help with that.
Very good stuff. I mean, this
It
is
is.
powerful. Should we start charging for our wit and wisdom? Counselor, what would you say our value is worth per hour?
I would say no comment.
Well, his team will do a valuation study and get back to us. And
We would have to take that under advisement.
Sign
And,
it.
Take it under advisement. Could you
get
sign
back
right
to
here?
you.
How much you have in your bank account? And then number 4, the plans, benefits, and coverage rules. As Tom alluded to earlier, plans do change every year. Yes, they do. The formulary changes every year. So, what may be good for you this year or last year for 2022 may not be good for you moving forward into 2023 because, as Tom had mentioned, maybe the drugs that you're taking now could be a tier 1, tier 2, but now they're moving to tier 4, tier 3. So you're going to have higher out-of-pocket expenses. So doing nothing is not the right or the correct course of action. We do not charge for our services, so therefore you have nothing to lose.
That's right. I enrolled someone in a new Part D prescription drug plan yesterday. We're estimating that individual is going to save $732 next year by putting them in the right plan. And reviewing that formulary, particular cream, estradiol cream, with one plan was zero copay one year. The only plan that was no cost. Next year was like tier 3. It was $47 for a tube.
And to your point, yesterday we enrolled a client turning 65 in a Medicare supplement plan with the oldest Medicare carrier in the country, one of our favorite Medicare carriers for a Medicare supplement. And so her husband, we enrolled him the year previous, and we put him on a WellCare Value Script plan. So, and it was only $12 a month. So she wanted to be on the same plan. I'm like, no, you can't be. I mean, if you want to be, you can be, but you're going to be spending $800 more a month if you're going to, as opposed to a Silver Script Choice plan for $32.50. Don't look at the first year premium or the monthly premium. Overall, look at what the total cost with the premium and your out-of-pocket drug cost is going to be. So sometimes going with the cheapest drug plan, it would cause you irreparable harm. So do not do it that way.
And it's sometimes that's difficult for couples who've been married for forever.
Absolutely.
And they've always had the same plan. I want to be on the same plan as my spouse.
Yes.
And I'll tell them, as Gary just said, okay, if you want to spend an extra $800, be on the same plan as your spouse. But the Medicare is individual, and their individual needs dictate what we recommend.
And we love reviewing Part D drug plans.
You said that with a straight face, but
Not quite.
Yeah.
The reason why we're laughing, I mean, it's not a funny thing, but it is quite frankly arduous. It is complicated.
Tedious.
Very tedious.
Can be easily mistaken. Mistakes can happen.
Big time.
If we don't have the proper information.
And that's why I don't understand why people call the 800 numbers and they don't, and on the other side, they don't even ask these questions. What medications are you taking? What form is it? Is it brand? Is it generic? Is it a tablet? Is it a capsule? You're telling me that there's a big difference between a tablet and a capsule? Holy mother
Extended
of Jesus.
release, osmotic. I mean, so many different
It's
details.
incredible. And so if you get it wrong, it's going to cause you a lot of problem, people. So, and unfortunately, the carriers don't compensate the agent enough for Part D plans. If it takes an hour, if it typically takes what, Tom? About 2 hours to do a methodical review of your formulary, the carriers, the outline of coverage, the plan details, the tier levels. So, and typically that agent makes $40 in commission on it. And I want you very transparent here on the Quality of Life radio show. So there's just not a lot of money into it. So it takes a lot of time. But again, when you do what's right for your client, it comes back tenfold for you. So you do what's right. And the number 5 is the plan formulary, right?
And formulary is a fancy word for this is a list of the medications that are covered, and here's what level or tiers that's going to be.
And I want to remind everybody also that the ACA, Affordable Care Act, the open enrollment begins November 1st. Today!
Yes, it does. Woohoo! Give us a call.
And it's been extended through January 15th. So give Owen Insurance Group a call at 772-210-1020, and we'll do a free review of your current plan. We'll help you with your health insurance plan if you need it, and also if you have a group and you need a quote for group health insurance. So I'm very happy to say it's been a great day with Brandon Woodward. Brandon, thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you so much,
this morning.
guys.
We appreciate you. I highly recommend Brandon Woodward. Again, you can reach him at 772-497-6544.
That's
there
it.
you go. And what was our number?
772-210-1020.
Wow!
Whoa,
I love
ding,
it.
ding,
All
ding.
right,
There we go.
So he did it, and so now we can let him out of the studio without any physical body harm. All right, next week on the show, we're going to have another special guest, Catherine Colhane. She's the Associate Director with the Florida SBDC, the Small Business Development Council at the IRSC. And the Boov and I will continue espousing our phenomenal knowledge that will absolutely impress you to death. So stay tuned for all the information that you need so we can protect your quality of life and health. Thanks for joining us this morning. Please share us with your friends, your family, your neighbors. And remember, Treasure Coast, stay safe, keep healthy, be happy, and enjoy your quality of life.